Hello, everyone. Welcome to Everything Arsenal and welcome to the first deadline day stream. And what a way to start it, starting it with Jorginho. So, first of all, let me know what you guys make of this deal. The deal is close to being agreed. I already knew what Arsenal fans were going to say anyway. The moment I heard about it yesterday, I knew what was going to come today. I knew the reaction to it, but I'm just asking for one favor. Yes, we might not have wanted Jorginho at Arsenal, but at the end of the day, he's going to be an Arsenal player. So let's not do the abuse thing. That's the only thing I'm asking for. I remember we did it with Ramsdale. We abused him the whole day when he signed for Arsenal. And remember, we did it with Ben White. I know it has the potential of going very, very wrong, but I don't see the benefit of abusing him right now because he's going to be an Arsenal player anyway. So that does not really help anyone. So after saying that, let me see what you guys are saying, and also let's go through what the news is from today. And also, you never know, he might not be the only signing for today. Let's hope we can also get another one. Listen, I'm sure some of you would be happy if we ended up getting another midfielder in him. That wouldn't be too bad. But as of now, it's just him. But let's hope we can get another signing through the door by the end of the day. It's not yet over. We still have like 11 hours to go. So I can see already questions: why this guy? Why do we get this guy? All that. So let's go through the deal. Let's go through the news and everything. As you let me know how you feel about this transfer. So, let's start with David Ornstein. The news from him is that Arsenal have agreed with Chelsea to sign Jorginho. The deal is worth 12 million, personal terms in place on contract to summer 2024. So it's 12 million, but you're actually paying 10 million right now, and then 2 million later. So it's 10 million plus 2 million bonus. Option to extend by 1 year. The contract is only going to be 1.5 years, so it's not going to be that long. For obvious reasons, it's 31. Expected to be at Arsenal training ground today to undergo the medical. So that is according to David Ornstein. Jorginho will be signing for 12 million. And also according to Fabrizio Romano, Jorginho to Arsenal, here we go. Deal agreed on 12 million fee. Chelsea accept conditions and documents are being prepared. Personal terms agreed contract until 2024 with option further year. First contact revealed yesterday night. Medical is already booked. So we know a couple of things. The deal is only going to cost us 12 million. Very, very cheap. Not the 80 million, 75 million, 90 million we are going to pay for Modric and Caicedo. And also we know it's only going to be 1.5 year deal. We know those two things. And we know he also wants to join Arsenal. Personal terms agreed. The one thing I thought about yesterday was, even if Arsenal want to sign him and even if Chelsea want to sell him, maybe Jorginho doesn't even want to come to Arsenal. Maybe he wants to go back to Italy, because that has been the case the last 1 year. He's always been talking about, not him directly, but we've always been told about him wanting to go back to Italy. So I was not even sure if he'd want to come to Arsenal anyway. But I guess he wants to remain in England, and also you never know. I want to hear why he wanted to join us. Is it because we are top of the table? Is it because he believes in the project? Blah blah blah. Let's wait and see. So a lot of you are asking why. So let's see this. So according to Fabrizio as well, Mikel Arteta understood to be a fan of Jorginho and appreciating his skills. This is why he's a concrete name for the final hours for Arsenal. Now, definitely he was not our first choice midfielder to get. Caicedo was the first choice. We paid 70 million. We paid 60 or 60 something million. They refused. We paid 70 million. They refused. There's still a chance we could go ahead and give them 80 million and get me 2 midfielders, but the chances of that are very, very minimal. So he couldn't get that one done. So I guess they've just decided, let's go to the alternative and get someone for 1 year or something to cover us for 1 year, as we look for someone else to go for the 5-6 years, for the next 5-6 years, to carry us for the 5-6 years after that. But for Jorginho, he's not going to be here for too long anyway. Why? Maybe because he's cheap. We are told that Arteta has always loved him. Maybe he did. Yes, we were actually linked to Jorginho 2 years ago. We actually wanted to sign Jorginho 2 years ago. I remember very well. I don't remember whether it was the same summer we wanted Partey, or was it after that? I don't remember when exactly when it was. But yes, we were linked to Jorginho before, and that deal didn't go through. I remember that time as well, Arsenal fans reacted terribly, and we ended up not getting him anyway. So we did want him, but we didn't get him. So it's not the first time that Arsenal have wanted Jorginho, but this time we are getting him. I know people are not happy because he's 31, and most obviously because it's coming from Chelsea. We know David Luiz, we know Petr Cech, we know William Gallas, we know Willian. All of those were turned out to be terrible buys. Maybe Cech maybe did well for one season or something, broke the record that season. I think he won the Golden Glove with Arsenal, but Willian was a terrible buy. I think Luiz did well for one season. The first season was terrible for him, and William Gallas did not turn out well at all. So there's a lot of different ways you can look at it, but I'm sure many of you will look at it like, this is a terrible buy. Why are we signing Jorginho? We should go for this midfielder. We are fighting for the title, blah, blah, blah. But as of now, there's literally nothing we can do. As I say, there's literally no need of abusing him because he's going to be an Arsenal player anyway. And you never know. Yes, it could turn out to be a terrible signing just like Willian, and we'll be like, look at what has happened. We're not going to win the title because of Jorginho. But you never know. What if he comes and helps us with a couple of penalties and you end up winning the Premier League title? You never know. And this shows me that we are not really going for a midfielder who's just combative, who's just going to put in the tackles and all that. It looks like we're going for a midfielder who knows how to play. He's a very good passer of the ball. In terms of long balls and passing his midfield, is okay with that, but maybe not in terms of pace. So quick question for you guys. Would you rather have kept Lokonga to play in that position for the next 4 months, or would you prefer Jorginho to play in that position? Who would you rather have had between those two? Keep Lokonga and play him in that position, or get Jorginho and play him in that position for the 4 months? Which one would you have preferred? And also another key thing to remember is that Jorginho is not coming to Arsenal to start the games, by the way. He's not going there to start the games. And he doesn't even have to play the Partey role. If Partey remains fit, maybe Jorginho can play in the Xhaka role for a couple of games. Maybe if we need to go very strong in midfield, he can go for all three of them, Partey, Xhaka, Jorginho, and maybe Odegaard ahead of them, and then maybe 2 forward players. There's a lot of ways you could do that. So that's another key thing to remember. He's not coming to start games for us. Willian was coming to start games for us. William Gallas was coming to start games for us as well. And Luiz was coming to start games for us. And same with Petr Cech. They were all coming to start games for Arsenal. Jorginho is not really coming to start games for Arsenal. So right now, it's literally up to you. Are you going to choose to look at the negatives? There's a lot of them, obviously. Or are you going to choose to look at the positives? There is a couple of them. You can say his experience and everything. He's won the trophies in England and everything. Literally depends on you. So that is the latest news on Jorginho. And also, let us try and compare his stats with Thomas Partey this season. Just 2022, 2023. Let's try and compare the two of them. So this is from Sky Sports. In terms of total tackles, Jorginho makes more per game than Thomas Partey. Partey makes 2.32 tackles, and Jorginho makes 2.95 tackles per game this season. This is just for this season. In terms of interceptions, Jorginho has also made more than Partey, 1.48 to 1.23. I was surprised to see the ball recoveries. I expected Partey to have more in terms of that because Jorginho is not the quickest in midfield. 8.36, and compared to Partey's 8.01. So far, Jorginho has, in terms of defensive qualities, tackles, interceptions, and recoveries, Jorginho is actually ahead of Thomas Partey per game this season, which is a surprise. But in terms of passes, you'd expect them to be about the same. But Thomas Partey leads in that, 58.24 to 52.48. So Thomas Partey is ahead of him in terms of that. And also in terms of forward passing, how many times per game do these guys percentage, in terms of percentage, complete their passes, forward passes? Jorginho has 30.97 and Partey has 28.98. So when you look at that, Jorginho has 4 out of 5, and Partey has 1 out of 5. He leads him in tackles, interceptions, recoveries, forward passes in terms of percentage, and Partey leads in terms of passes completed overall, whether it's back passes, side passes. Partey's better in terms of that. So he's definitely a good passer. Surprised, as I said, for the recoveries and everything. Yes, he's quite slow in midfield. Yes, does he make mistakes? Yes, he actually made one when he played them 2 years ago when he went to Stamford Bridge and we won 1-0. I think Smith Rowe scored. I think Aubameyang passed it to Smith Rowe and he scored. That day, it's Jorginho who made the mistake. Yes, he does make mistakes, but if it's mistakes, we can say that about every single player, really. I mean, Gabriel has made 3-4 mistakes this season. Saliba has made 2-3 mistakes this season. So, yeah, I'm sure however many positive things I say, I'm sure many Arsenal fans will not be happy anyway. So I'm just rambling on. But remember, he's an Arsenal player. He's going to be an Arsenal player. So literally, we have to try and look at the positives. We can't look at the negative. If we do look at the negatives, we are going to be very unhappy the whole day, and you are not even going to be happy for the rest of the season if you choose to do that. And you never know how it's going to go. So let me know what you make of that after seeing those stats and everything. Let's see. Damien says I don't believe in him for sure, according to after they gave us Willian. I totally understand that. Bako says, welcome to the Emirates. Kiramba says that's a fantastic deal. So there's a couple of people who think it's a fantastic deal. Maybe fantastic is exaggerating, but I mean, it's tough to say it's a great deal. It's a good deal. It's very tough, obviously, because, okay, again, let me ask you another question. After the first question was, would you prefer Jorginho, Lokonga in midfield? Question number 2 is, if Jorginho was coming from a different team, like an Aston Villa or Tottenham or Atletico Madrid, would you be happy with him? I know it affects us because he comes from Chelsea, and Chelsea have always given us terrible players. But what if he was coming from a different team? Would you be happier than you are right now? Let's see. Herbert says experience is best. Welcome. Maria says why him doesn't make sense. Let's see. Prince says half a bread is better than none. I guess. You rather get someone than not getting someone at all. Let's give him a chance. He's ready for the Ghana says Ola. Disappointed says Yakubu, totally understand. Aliu says his work rate is better than Thomas Partey. I mean, in terms of watching the game, doesn't really look so, but in terms of stats, yes, in terms of stats, it does look so. Tackles, interceptions, ball recoveries. Again, the thing I don't agree with, the same thing I don't agree with Lokonga. Yes, Jorginho does play in the number 6 role by himself at Chelsea, but I feel like he works better in a midfield too. So that is going to be interesting to see how he does. But again, remember, he doesn't really have to start our games. Partey is fit at the moment, so he doesn't really have to start our games at the end of the day. So let's see how it goes. Anu says, I'm not happy with the deal at all. Let's see. It's better than none, says Isaac. At least he can give us 1 year good performance until we sign Declan Rice. Hopefully. Again, another thing to remember is that we went for Caicedo. We paid money twice. They were all rejected. We've seen rumors today that you're going to pay for the 3rd time. So let's see if it's still going to happen after signing Jorginho. Very doubtful. We'll also do more shows later on today. We have a couple of players who are leaving Arsenal as well today, so it's going to be interesting to see whether we are going to get other players in their position. Watford FC says, I'm equally not Watford DC. I'm equally not for the idea of signing him, but what are we going to do? We ain't the board. You'll be catching feelings here, like crying like babies, but it's done. It's done in a tight trust. You can't blame the board. You all have been saying they were interested in Caicedo, but Brighton still refused. That is true. I actually feel like even if we gave them 95 million or something, they would still have refused. We would have had to give them something crazy, like 120 for them to accept. That is what I feel. But at the moment, we've gotten Jorginho, so I do agree with that. I don't agree with people saying, I know people are saying now, Atsa out, Edu out. Again, let's not do that. I know they signed Willian, it was terrible. I know they signed Tavares, it turned out terrible. I know they signed Lokonga, it didn't turn out pretty well at all. But you also have to remember, when we signed Ramsdale, 90% said Ramsdale is crap. Ramsdale has been signed for Sheffield United, has been relegated twice. What is they doing? What are they doing? Like, make sure they leave the club, blah, blah, blah. Ramsdale is now probably the best goalkeeper we had in a long while, especially in terms of kicking and also making saves. He was exceptional against Man United, Tottenham last season, all that. We also signed Ben White for 50 million. People complained. They said 50 million is too much. Right now, 50 million looks like it was a bargain for Ben White. We also signed Tomiyasu. No one knew him. People complained. He turned out to be good. So we have to look at it both ways. It might turn out bad like a Willian. It might turn out good like a Ramsdale. So let's just hope it turns out good. We have been wrong a couple of times. Even with Jack and all these players, we have been wrong. We thought they were going to be terrible, but they turned out to be okay. 1.5 years is okay, but not happy, says Anu. He's not a good signing, says Ashola. I mean, this kind of opinions I have no problem with. You can definitely say whether you like it or not. That is fine. But what I don't want to see is F Jorginho, we don't want him at Arsenal. He's, ish, blah, blah, blah. We don't want to see that. Like, he's still going to be an Arsenal player. I remember when Ramsdale joined and he ended up blocking Arsenal fans and blocking comments because we are abusing him. He's not really played for Arsenal. He's been playing for Chelsea. I know that is why you don't want him. But he has been putting a couple of poor performances for Chelsea, not Arsenal. So let's see how he does for Arsenal. If he comes to Arsenal and does the same, then you're definitely fine if you're going to give your opinion after that as well. Why don't we get Tielemans, says Simon? I'm not sure, but my thinking is Leicester and West Ham are not going to sell Rice and Tielemans, especially because in a relegation battle, they would be crazy if they gave away their top players. So we have to think about it like that. And also, it's going to be free at the end of the season. Same with Jorginho. But I guess they just prefer Jorginho because of his passing and the experience and all that. So personally, I would definitely have gone for Tielemans, Simon. But I mean, as Watford said earlier, we're not the board. So let's just see how it turns out. Some people are also saying because he's Brazilian, originally Brazilian, it's an easy deal to do for Edu. So let's just wait. This team needs experience, says Ibrahim, to help our young guns. That is a good point. He's also going to take our average age way high. Like I don't know by how much, but our average age is going to be going up. Watford says he's better than Lokonga. Ali says, for me, Jorginho is okay. I like him than Caicedo. Wow, interesting. Because of the money that you want to use and sign Moises is too much. Let's leave it and look for better alternative in the summer. God bless Arsenal. I wouldn't have paid. I feel like 70 million was the most I would have paid for Caicedo. I feel like 90 million, 100 million would have been a robbery. Now, listen, I saw a very good quote yesterday. 100 million could be too much, but 100 million could be good enough for Arsenal. Maybe that 100 million we'd have spent on Caicedo would have helped us to win the title. Maybe 100 million is too much for any other team, or maybe 100 million would be terrible for us in another season. But maybe this season would have been a very good 100 million spent, but I still feel like it would have been a lot of money anyway. Personally, I would have tried someone else, like a Tielemans or someone else. Probably Jorginho wouldn't have been on the list, but let's see how it goes. Jorginho jumped from 10th to 1st and from Champions League to Europa League, from starting 11 to bench form. Says yeah, positives, negatives. But I'm sure if you ask many players right now, they'll probably join us. Modric wanted to join us as well, but money and everything. Jorginho is better than Lokonga, says Victor. Nelly says the same thing as well. Herbert says the same thing as well. I wish good luck to Jorginho, says Saliu. It's better than Lokonga. So many of you say it's better than Lokonga. It might not be better than Caicedo. It might not be better than Douglas Luiz. It might not be better than Tielemans, all these players. But from what we have, it might be better than what we already had. And again, very keen to remember he's not going to be a starter at Arsenal. He's actually coming to be a backup. So you never know. And also, if he gets the Europa League final, you never know. He could take a very important penalty. He rarely misses penalties. This deal has actually dismayed me if this because we do not have money. Heart attack will kill the fans, says Moses. Moses. But we need a break the bank to sign Declan Rice in the summer, says Isaac. Better to keep Lokonga, says Wesley. Let Lokonga leave on loan or permanently. He is good but old, says Benson. I mean, he's coming for 1.5 years, so by the time he leaves, he's only going to be 33, and we have an option to extend after that by 1 year. Petra says Chelsea have been giving players who only come to buy time, waste our resources, and walk away. I'm very much disappointed with the signing more than I remember our final with them. Their players are just but traitors to Arsenal. I mean, 4 of their players who've come to Arsenal, 2 of them had one good season and then bad seasons after that or before that, and then the other 2 had terrible times at Arsenal. So yes, I do understand that. But again, I know it's very easy to just go in the history. These guys have given us terrible players. It's never worked. But I guess I'm not happy with signing Jorginho. I'm not like ecstatic about signing Jorginho. No, like I would be about signing any other midfielder, not at all. But it's a different situation, a different position. Let's just see how it goes. As per now, Jorginho is better than Sambi, and also the players that we've said, the players who joined Chelsea, Arsenal from Chelsea, all of them are coming to Arsenal to start. Jorginho is not really coming to Arsenal to start. As per Jorginho is better than Sambi, yes, he can still do something. Where he tried midfield like Rice in the transfer window. Victor says all these statistics won't show how many times Jorginho cost them a lot. That's true. We can get that as well. We can get how many mistakes he's made, but also we can also say the same thing about we can't really see how many good passes that have led to goals and everything. We can take a look at both of them. The moment he signs, we'll take a look at both of them. Arsenal made a mistake again, says Theo. Now we don't really know about that. Don't compare Partey with this useless new signing of us, please, says Mandala. Jorginho is coming to play in the Partey role, Mandala. We have to compare both of them, and I saw this and I said, why not? Let's see how both of them did, and that is a start. Jorginho has done better in 4 different places, attributes than Partey this season. Partey is definitely a better player for sure. But you can see in terms of tackles, interceptions, ball recoveries, he's been better than Partey this season. You also need to be careful with Arsenal fans, by the way, guys. We also need to be careful with our fellow Arsenal fans and ourselves as well. When you decide that a player is very bad, we decide that he's very bad, and we'll never look at the positives. And we'll try and ignore that as well. But the fact is, in terms of all that we've read, he's been better than Partey this season. He's not going to be a starter at Arsenal, but we have to try and look at the positives because he's going to be an Arsenal player. I mean, this is not the time to be negative. We are fighting for the title, so we have to be positive about anyone who joins Arsenal at Tottenham. There's no problem with giving your opinion. You don't have to like him at all. I'm just saying I don't see the benefit of abusing him, like saying he's a useless player, why are you signing him? I don't see the benefit of that. You can definitely give your opinion and say, I think Partey's better, Jorginho is slow in terms of doing this and that. There's no problem with doing that. Everyone has their own opinion, but in terms of, I know what people will do. People will go to his Facebook and his Instagram and his TikTok and abuse him, and we don't want you at Arsenal. There's literally no need of doing that. We did the same thing with Randall, and Randall turned out to be a good player. So let's just see how it works out. Mubaya says, if you look at this, if you look at it the other way around, it's not that a bad deal. He's experienced as a Champions League and a Euros medal and can be called in to cover for Partey or Jacques in the Europa League fixtures. It's not like he will walk straight into the starting 11. He will be called in here and there so that our midfield generals don't get fatigued. The fee is reasonable, meaning Arsenal have more funds to go for Rice and Kaiser. I mean, Mubaya has put in a very good comment. That's a very good comment, Mubaya. So exactly that. You can choose to look at it 2 different ways. You can look at it like he's a Chelsea player, he's a Chelsea reject. Why are you signing him? He's 31 years of age, doesn't really fit into our plan. All the Chelsea players we signed before are terrible. We can look at he makes mistakes in midfield, he's slow. We can look at all that, but you can also look at what what Mubaya said. He's going to cover for both Partey and Jack in both positions. He's not really coming to start, so it's only going to be a bench player. He's won the Champions League and the Euros. He's played a crucial role for Chelsea in Italy, winning those as well. So you can look at it in different ways. Also, the fee is good enough for them as well. There's nothing we can do about signing Jorginho, says Anu. Exactly. We can only support him now that he's an Arsenal player. Great deal, says Peter. I also put a poll on YouTube. Make sure to vote. Let me know. And also the 2 questions that I've asked today. Actually, let me put them at the bottom. Is he a better player than Lokonga? Who would you rather have had? Jorginho or Lokonga in midfield? Which of the 2 would you rather have had for the next 4 months? And also, if Jorginho was coming from a different team, would you have given him a chance more than you're doing right now because he's coming from Chelsea? If Jorginho was coming from a different team, would you have been happier? So let me know the answer to those 2 questions Is he better than Lokonga? And also, if he was coming from a different team, would you have been happier? Um, is he the right backup now than Lokonga? That's the question I'm asking you guys, Vincent. Let me know. Do you guys think he's better than Lokonga in that position? Nice one. Arsenal can manage him because Thomas Partey only can playing every single match. Joshua said this is another good way to look at it. Not really a big fan. I share the same opinion, but let's hope it works out well. As long as he's back for Partey, he's a backup for Partey. Jorginho is far much better than El Neni and Lokonga. I think El Neni and Jorginho, some people have said they're the same kind of players. I don't think so. I think Jorginho and El Neni are totally different players. I think Jorginho can play in the Xhaka role. I think El Neni can't really play in the Xhaka role. Jorginho is not afraid to pass the ball forward. El Neni is not really a good passer of the ball. El Neni is more combative in terms of making tackles and aggression in midfield than Jorginho would be. So I think they're two different players. He's 31 years of age. I don't think he has it in him, says Dominic. He's going to be a good player. Champions League football experience, says Obai. So it's good to see a couple of you being positive. This definitely reminds me of the time we had Ramsdale and Ben White. I remember those comments very well. I was even scared for Ramsdale joining Arsenal, but it turned out to be good. It turned out to be good. We will be live again very soon, actually. We're going to do a lot of them because we need to talk about Lokonga, we need to talk about Marquinhos, and are we going to sign any other player today? Let's wait and see. What position does he play? We better get Tielemans for the EPL trophy push. Tielemans will not leave Leicester right now. I really doubt. So I would love it, but I really doubt. He plays in the Partey role, but he can also play in the Xhaka role. He has experience, says Prosper. Really welcome to Arsenal, says David. Steven says Jorginho is another steal to add to our midfield. Interesting. The worry is age, says Gray. Gray says it's good, but the worry is his age. I mean, he's only here for 1.5 years. I think we'll have him for this season and next season, and after that, he'll be gone anyway. Welcome to the Arsenal family. Jorginho. Joel is also positive. Arsenal know how to spend money. Yeah, he always, in terms of those 50 million, 25 million, 30 million kind of players, we always do well. I mean, also remember someone like Odegaard was 30 million. And also remember, most of us wanted Maddison instead of Odegaard. So that also turned out well. Anyway, let's give him a chance, says Richard. Remember, most of the players we used to buy from Chelsea aren't performing well. That is true. So these are the kind of comments that I want to see, like from what Ndaba said. I think it's you can say it in a more chilled way that you don't like him. You don't really have to say it's crap, get the F out of the club. You don't really have to say that. He's an Arsenal player and he's not played a single game for Arsenal. So imagine he comes to Arsenal and helps us win the title. We can literally laugh at Chelsea and tell them, you know what, Chelsea is actually the ones pulling Jorginho down. This guy has luck. Come to think of it, he won the Champions League for Chelsea and he won the European trophy with Italy. He's just a backup for 18 months. He's good with Premier League experiences. Robert, I remember he was a Maurizio Sarri signing for Chelsea. He came from Napoli. He was very good at Napoli. He came to Chelsea. I think he did well under Maurizio Sarri. Then after that, under different managers, different tactics, I think he kind of struggled a bit. Ariola says, do you think Jorginho can do it? I don't think so. Most people won't think so. I'm just hoping. I'm not going to say, yes, Jorginho is the best signing Arsenal has ever made. No, I'm not going to say that. But we just have to hope. But I'm not also going to say he's terrible. Let's not. Why is he joining Arsenal? Send him back to Chelsea. I'm not going to say such stuff because mostly of this. Mostly because of this. According to Fabrizio, Mikel Arteta understood to be a fan of Jorginho and appreciating his skills. This is why it's a concrete name for the final hours. And also because of Ramsdale, and also because of Ben White, and also because of Granit Xhaka, all those players that we didn't want at Arsenal and are doing well right now. So let's just see how it goes. And also kind of because of this. is according to the stats is not that terrible. According to the stats, someone said please don't compare him to Partey, but according to Sky Sports and the stats, he has been better than Thomas Partey in terms of tackles, in terms of interceptions, in terms of ball recoveries, and in terms of forward pass percentage. So he completes more forward passes than Thomas Partey. You can choose to look at that the way you want. Let's see. It's a good buy for the time being, far better than Lokonga. I don't think that's a good move, says Samuel. We really need a young, solid midfielder, like I said, though. I wouldn't have paid 80 million. I did a poll yesterday asking if you pay 80 million for him. Personally, I wouldn't. I feel like that is too much money. I would have tried to get another midfielder alongside along that price, but let's see. I mean, the day is not over. You never know. You might sign another player. I guess if we sign another midfield on top of Jorginho, people wouldn't be too annoyed. The age is not the problem, but his commitment is the problem, says Kamar. It would be good cover in terms of depth, says Joship. Never says if you want us to be positive, don't ask us what you think about him. There's a difference. If you don't like him, you can easily say he's not a good. You don't have to say he's you don't have to say the S word. You don't have to say it's ish. There's a good way you can be about being negative. But I'm talking about abuse. You can give your opinion without giving abuse. Saying he's useless and he's crap and all that is abuse. If you go to his Instagram and abuse him, that is very unnecessary. You can give your opinion without giving abuse. So it's not the same thing, really. The coach knows why he decided to sign him, so we can love him. We have to love him, according to Noah. I think Jorginho is a player from my own side of view, says Al-Haji. We don't need this kind of players again, says Andrew. General of the Army says, guys, look here, Jorginho is better than Sambi, with all respect after Mohamed's injury. As far as our midfield is concerned, what do you say? Says General of the Army. In terms of being better than Lokonga, yes, I think he is more experienced. I think he's more used to playing in that role than Lokonga. Lokonga is still very new in that role. In terms of whether it's going to be good at Arsenal, we have to wait and see. I'm not going to say he's going to be the best player we've ever signed, but I'm also not going to say he's going to be the most terrible signing we've ever made. We have to wait and see how he does at Arsenal. Jorginho is the perfect cover, says Lewis for Partey. I'm also going to be realistic. I'm also not going to use words like perfect and incredible and amazing. I'm not going to use words like that, but I'm also not going to use the curse words on him. I don't know what Edu and Atsa saw in him, but I really don't think he's the type of player we need right now. He lacks physicality and pace, but who knows what he might come with the team as well. So again, on that, in terms of physicality and pace and all that, it might be true that he doesn't have pace and everything. But as I said, you need to be very careful in terms of what you see. Right now, rival fans will put up videos about his mistakes. Some Arsenal fans will put up videos and they'll put up comments about how terrible he is. But you have your own opinion. You watch the Premier League, you can go and you can see how he does by yourself, and you can have your own opinion in terms of that. But you have to be careful about what you read. I remember quite well reading that Ben White is the worst defender in the Premier League, and right now Ben White is one of the best right backs in the Premier League. So when we signed Ben White, 90% of people said he's the worst player we've ever signed. So that did not turn out that well. Ramsdale as well. Xhaka, 1 year ago, we said, Xhaka, why is Arteta and Edu keeping Xhaka? They have no idea what they're doing. We were wrong. They were right. And I'm also very aware that they were wrong on Willian, they were wrong on Tavares, and some of us were right on Willian and right on Tavares and maybe right on Lokonga. So you can look at it both ways. Better than Lokonga, says Charles. Jorginho will be a good one for me, says Miles. Let's just hope he brings us positive feedback, says Pension. So that is the first stream on Jorginho. We will be back for more streams. Let's do a quick recap. According to Fabrizio, Jorginho is joining Arsenal. Deal agreed 12 million. That is 10. We are paying 10 million right now and then 2 million later. Chelsea accepts the conditions and documents are being prepared. Personal terms agreed. We're only going to sign him for 18 months. He will be doing his medical today. I know another thing that is bothering Arsenal fans it's going to be terrible if let's say Chelsea come right now and they pay 120 million and they sign Caicedo. That would be a killer. That would look very bad on us, losing 3 players from them and then getting Jorginho from them. That would look bad. But if Caicedo stays at Brighton, well and good. Let's just see how it does. But let's hope this is not the only player we're going to sign today. Let's hope we can get another one. Let's see how it goes. So this is a very tough stream to do. Talking about I know 90% of people don't like him, so it's always a very tough stream to do and tough to try and look at the positives. But we have to. There's literally no need of giving abuse. He's never played for Arsenal, so let's just see how it does. And fine, they don't really support giving abuse, but if it comes to Arsenal, it does very poorly, as you expect, as some of you expect. Then you're free to do whatever you want. But as of now, let's just wait and see how it does. I put up all and asked thoughts on this deal. 32% said they're disgusted. 51% of say they'll give him a chance, and 17% of say they're not sure how they feel. I'm going to put the same poll very soon on Facebook. I'll be back live later as well. Make sure to check the page. I'm going to do a video as well in the next 20 minutes and post it. Thank you for watching. Catch up with you guys in a few minutes.